Hello everyone, this is XIAWENHAN. Today I'm excited to introduce the X model and its application in e-learning. With the rise of online education, we are faced with a key challenge. How do we keep learners engaged and motivated in virtual environments? The X model is a systematic approach to help us solve this problem. This class is divided into 6 parts, so let's begin with the first part, learning objectives. There are 3 learning objectives. Firstly, we should understand the X model and its theoretical foundation. Secondly, we need to break down the 4 motivational components of the X model. Thirdly, explore how to effectively apply the X model to e-learn to boost engagement and learning outcomes. We already know the objectives of today's study, so now let's learn about the brilliant educationist John Taylor. John Taylor is the author of the X model. He developed the X model to systematically address learners' motivations. He is a professor of instructional systems and education psychology. He emphasized motivation as critical to the learning process. Next, let's move to the part 3, Introduce to X model. The X model is a motivational design framework that focuses on attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction. This model plans to help educators design learning experiences that certain learners' interest and motivation. Also, this model plans to address both cognitive and emotional aspects of learning. Next, let's look at the 4 elements of the X model: attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction. Here is a chart about these 4 aspects to help us better understand. Firstly, let's focus on attention. Attention means capture and maintain learners' interest and focus. Attention can be divided into 3 categories. Firstly, perceptual arousal means use, surprise, humor, or multimedia. And the second category, inquiry arousal, pose challenging questions or scenarios. And third category, variability, means edited teaching method. For example, can use videos and discussions. Alright, let's move to the relevance. Relevance means ensure the content, means learners' needs, goals, and interest. It can also be divided into 3 categories. The first category, goal orientation, link outcomes to personal or career goals. And the second category, motive matching, align with the learner's motivations. And the third category, familiarity, means relevant to prior knowledge and experience. Next, let's learn about the confidence part. Confidence means builds learners' belief in their ability to succeed. It can also be divided into three categories. The first category, learning requirement. It can set clear goals and expectations. And second category, success opportunity. It can provide easy success to build momentum. And third category, personal control. It allows learners to self-pace their learning. Okay, let's move to the satisfaction part. The satisfaction means reinforce learners' achievement through reward and acknowledgement. It also can be divided into three parts. The first, intrinsic reinforce category. It can reflect on progress. And second, extrinsic rewards. It can provide certificates or badges. And for the equality category, it can ensure fairness in recognition and feedback. Okay, let's proceed to the part 4, e-learn. E-learn means a learning conducted through digital platforms and resources. It has the following characteristics. For example, flexible, self-paced, and multimedia rich. And it also means some challenges, maintaining learning's engagement and motivation. Despite the many advantages of e-learn, we still need to address a central question. How do we keep learners focused and motivated at all times? This is where the X model can make a difference. So next, let's explore the part 5, application of X model in e-learn. Firstly, let's introduce the attention part. It can use interactive content like simulations and video, and incite interactive quizzes or games to engage learners. As for the relevant part, it can provide personalized learning paths based on learners' profiles. And next, let's dive deeper about the confidence part. Confidence can provide progress trackers and formative assessment, and it can set small goals. For example, break down course content into small, easy to achieve modules and provide immediate feedback upon completion of each module. And as for the satisfaction part, It can reward learners with baggage and instant feedback. Okay, this is the introduce about application of X model in e-learn. So next, let's move on to the part 6. Assessment. So now we can have a small assessment. The learning outcomes of the X model can be tested and reflected through these 5 questions. The first question, which if the following is true about the X model? This is a model for assessing learning knowledge, or it is designed to increase learners' motivation, or it is primarily used to assess the difficulty of learning material, or it is only applicable to traditional classroom instruction. And the second question, which of the following best describes the use of attention in the X model? A. By providing learners with customized learner pace. B. By using dynamic animations or interesting questions to get learners' attention. C. By providing a certificate of reward at the end of the course. D. By ensuring that learners are able to work through the course at their own pace. And the third question, what is the design of an e-learn platform that best embodies relevance? A. Provide live chart for learner interaction. B. Provide industry-relevant case studies and hands-on activities. C. Include timers and competition in the course. D. Provide end-of-course service. And the fourth question, which if the following is the most effective way to increase learners' confidence? A. Creating graded tasks that learners complete step by step and receive intermediately feedback. B. Providing multiple forms of rewards, such as badge or points. C. Using difficult questions to challenge learners. D. Adding more visual elements to make the course more engaging. And the final question, which of the following best describes the use of satisfaction in e-learning? A. Providing in-class tests and grading during the course. B. Awarding e-certificates and digital badge upon completion of the course. C. Providing voice reading features to support learning. D. Recording learners' personal information through a web-based platform. Okay, that's all the question. There are answers for all the 5 questions. First answer is B. The answer model focuses on increasing learners' motivation and is designed specifically through the 4 competences of attention, relevance, self-confidence, and satisfaction. And the second question is choose B. The attention competent is designed to engage learners with new and interesting content, such as dynamic animations or engaging questions. The answer for the third question is B. Relevance focuses on the connection between the content and the learner's goals, interests, and needs, such as industry case studies that give the learners a sense of the practical application of the course content. And the answer for the fourth question is A. Confidence is designed to help learners complete tasks step by step and increase their experience of success, thereby improving their confidence in the learning task. And the answer for the fifth question is B. Satisfaction competent emphasize the use of rewards or recognition, for example, the e-certifications and digital badges, to enhance learners' sense of achievement and engagement. Okay. There are many other different kinds of learning materials, including the YouTube video and website and the paper. Let's look at the first video. The answer model of motivation by John Kaler.
Hello, my friends. If you design learning experiences, then it's great if they're instructionally sound, but it's even better if they are motivating. Because when you can design motivating learning experiences, your audience will devote way more time and effort to not just learning what it is that you need them to learn, but also to applying their new knowledge and skills on the job. So in this video, we'll take a look at John Keller's ARCS model of motivation, which is all about how to design motivating learning. Alright, so when you're designing learning experiences, how much attention do you give to motivation specifically? If you're like a lot of instructional designers, then the answer is probably not a lot, because we often expect people to kind of just get motivated as a byproduct of our wonderful learning experiences. But this is a misconception. A lot of the great instructional designers that I see focus a lot on motivation, so this is a huge opportunity for improvement if you're designing any type of learning experiences. And the good news is that the ARCS model that we're going to explore makes motivational design very accessible. This is one of my favorite instructional design models, so you'll be able to start applying some of these principles like immediately on your next learning project. So let's dive into it. Here we have it, the ARCS model of motivation. We want to design more motivating learning experiences, and we do that by focusing on these four key elements: attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction. And we'll explore each of these in more detail and look at some strategies we can use to foster each one of these elements. So first up, we have attention. We want to get people's attention in the beginning of the learning experience, and then we want to keep people's attention so that we're not losing them along the way. And of course, there are many strategies we can use to do that. The first one is by presenting real-world examples. So especially if they're surprising, but not if they're too distracting. For example, if I dove into this video and I was kind of like shaving off my beard while we were going, it would probably be surprising. You wouldn't really expect that when you're diving into a video like this, but it would probably be a little bit distracting, probably would not be very good from a learning perspective. So keep that in mind when you are incorporating examples and incorporating any other elements too. A really good way to use examples is when the real-world examples kind of contradict people's previous beliefs. So you kind of tie into their existing beliefs, but then put a spin on them, just to, it's something unexpected or surprising. That's a really good way to draw people in. You can also use humor, but sparingly. This one, of course, is a little bit tricky. We don't want to try to turn your learning experience into a stand-up special. Probably not going to go over too well. And humor can be nuanced, but I'm sure you can find some opportunities to incorporate it that are kind of low risk, but also would bring a lot of joy to people who experience it. I'm going to show you an example that I saw recently in an e-learning project that I think used humor quite well. So this is from Hanseng 2's flagship project. So it's a scenario-based, story-driven e-learning project. Now, you can check this out. I'll share a link in the comments, but in this project, we are at an animal hospital. And this is at the beginning of the experience. We see a person with a Shiba Inu knocking on the door, so we can either open the door or ignore them. I'm sure something funny happens if we ignore them, but let's just choose to open the door. The client review was brutal.
I'm gonna be in the water for weeks.
I'm already so fruity.
This is fixable. Just use Grammarly. Grammarly can look through the proposal to find what's missing. And look, Grammarly knows the audience is non-technical, so it can take out the jargon and make it better.
Alright, this person has an appointment for Cameron at 8 a.m. and they're here for the free shots. So we can choose either one of these. We can say, "Hi Cameron, you're such a good boy," or we can say, "I love the name Cameron for a dog." So let's say I love the name Cameron for a dog. Oh, the dog's name is Bobo. I'm Cameron. He has an appointment for those free shots. So it's kind of funny because you see the choices set us up for, either way we were referring to the person as Cameron, but obviously that was a little bit of humor that was incorporated here. The dog's name was Bobo. The person's name was Cameron. So a little funny. There are little things you can do like that, those little moments of delight that can make your experience more engaging. Also, of course, this is no surprise to any learning designers here. Hands-on practice and participation can keep people's attention. So, of course, if you see opportunities to get people engaged and get them doing something, that's going to help with the attention piece. No surprise there. And then also, not super surprising, asking thought-provoking questions. It's another really good way to get people's attention or keep people's attention. Hopefully not cheesy ones. I'll give a go at it, but I have a question for you all. So imagine you're standing at the front of a classroom or conference room and you have 30 people out in the audience all chatting to each other, and you need to get their attention because you're about to start your session or your lecture or your learning experience. What are you going to do? All the teachers out there, if you've taught for any amount of time at all, I'm sure plenty of examples are coming to mind. Turning on and off the lights, clapping. I'm sure teachers with experience have a whole toolkit of things that they can do to get attention in these situations. But the follow-up question is how you actually keep people's attention for the duration of that session or that experience. Because that's what we're really talking about here. We're not just talking about how to get the attention, we're talking about how to keep it throughout. Because if we lose it, we're no better off than where we started. And a good way that we can keep people's attention throughout is by incorporating a variety of media and methods. So, for example, self-paced e-learning and animated videos, and job aids, and peer learning, and virtual instructor-led, all of the above. So incorporating that variety will help people engage and will help keep people's attention. If you've heard of hybrid learning, that's part of what makes this effective. And the variety and the variance isn't just helpful for the media and the method, but if you see other ways to incorporate that and have that non-distracting variety, then...
Okay, due to the time, we only watch the part of the video, so you can watch the rest of the video according to your own time. And we also have the other learning material. This is another video. You can watch it later. And this is the website learning material. You can also carefully learn it later. So today, we explored the basic of the X model and its application in e-learning. The X model enhanced the learner's motivation by addressing their key psychological factors. Its application in e-learning bridges the gaps between content and engagement. And this is a chart for the four aspects. For your reference, and it can tell the difference about the four different aspects. Okay, that's all. Thanks for your listening.